Thinking of planning a large destination wedding in Mexico? Let's talk about some of the best resorts for you. Hey, this is Jack with Vacationese. Do me a favor and subscribe to the videos. I do post new videos every Tuesday, so if you hit the bell, you will get notified. So what are some of the best resorts in Mexico if you're having a large destination wedding? So let's first talk about what is a large destination wedding. So to me, large is 100 people, 100 adults, because the resorts look at everything based upon adults. So I would say 50 rooms or more is going to be a large destination wedding. Now, what do I look for clients when we're looking at a large destination wedding? I want to find resorts that have multiple venues for your various events. So at a typical wedding, you're going to have a welcome party, maybe a rehearsal dinner, a ceremony, cocktails, and a reception. I don't want our clients having it at the same exact location. So we want to look for resorts that you can pick a rooftop, a garden, a pool, a ballroom, whatever it may be, a gazebo. Each event have its own theme. So large resorts, we want to find that. We need to find resorts that actually have a great plan B. So what is plan B? If there's rain, wind, a weather event, for some reason that if you're having an outdoor event, it has to be moved indoor, we want to make sure that that resort has the ability to do that, to execute it, as well as have a ballroom versus saying, hey, well, we'll put you in the Mexican restaurant. And if your theme is boho chic, being in the Mexican restaurant probably is not going to work. The other thing is I want to make sure that the wedding department, and this is really important, that the wedding department can actually do a big wedding. There are many resorts in my mind that are great for 25 or 30 people, but as soon as you go to a big wedding, it's like boom, their minds just blow apart. They don't know how to execute and design, and some of them can't manage all the various pieces of having 100 guests there. So those are the things I look for when I start looking at resorts. Now your question, hey Jack, so okay, great. I'm gonna have a big wedding, whether it's an Indian wedding, Nigerian wedding, or just a big old wedding, we need to find the resorts. So let's talk about some of my favorites. So in Mexico, let's look at Puerto Vallarta. You have a couple resorts there that are great. I would say my top resort there for a family friendly would be the Hard Rock in Puerto Vallarta. They do a great job, plus they have some good wedding perks, the wedding team can manage, they hit all the criteria, and the other thing is no one will go bored. There's always something happening at that resort, so we're going to keep everybody happy. Other places, I would say a great option, family friendly, adults only, is the Secrets and Dreams Bahia Mita. Brand new resort, I've done a video on it, I've stayed there a couple times. Again, they hit all the criteria, plus they have the Beyond Memorable Wedding Package, which can help save you money on putting your wedding together. But these resorts in Puerto Vallarta, Riviera and Narit, which is the same thing, flying into Vallarta, would be my top two. There are other resorts, so I'm going to keep this list of like my top one or two in each resort or each destination. Let's look at Cabo while we're on the West Coast. Amazing place to host destination weddings. So a couple things. If you have an adults only wedding, my number one option there for adults only is LeBlanc, Los Cabos. Truly amazing resort. The team there can do, we've seen events there for up to 500 people. They know how to execute excellent events. And the key is with LeBlanc, with their wedding package, your wedding will basically be free. Yes, free, and it'll blow away anything else. And the overall experience at the resort as an adults only resort is my number one resort there for adults only. So if, let's say you're having family friendly, again, Hard Rock, relatively new resort, maybe 3 years old. We were there for the grand opening right before COVID. Again, no one will ever go bored. So when you're doing a large event, you're going to have guests of all ages, and we have to keep people happy. Because if your guests are not having a good time, you'll hear about it. So again, if it's a family friendly, I would say the Hard Rock. Now, another option there is a Dreams in Vallarta, which does a nice job and has the Beyond Memorable. And if you're going to go for something a little bit more upscale and you do still want the all-inclusive, I would say look at the Grand Villas in Cabo. top of the line resort, amazing experience for everybody. I would say if I think LeBlanc is my number one choice for adults only, the Grand Vilas is similar quality, maybe even a little higher. Price-wise, again, is pretty on the high side, but they can execute large weddings. Now let's come over to the east coast of Mexico for my best options for large weddings here. And you have a lot of great options, so I'm going to limit it to a couple of my favorites. Number one favorite for family-friendly for a large destination wedding is the Grand at the Moon Palace. It is my favorite adults-only resort in the Cancun Riviera Maya area. Restaurants galore, golf course, and the key is if you have a large wedding there, let's say that you have 100 rooms, 100 rooms or more, that's 200 people, which is a really large wedding. Everything should pretty much be free in terms of your private events. Yes, you'll spend money on customization, but Palace Resorts has an amazing wedding package. But the Grand at the Moon Palace is my number one. I would say number two would be the Moon Palace, which is going to be slightly less expensive than the Grand. Same wedding benefits, different venues. No one will ever go bored there. You can ride bikes all over the place. Golf courses, mini golf courses, you name it, restaurants galore. Another one of my favorites that if you're looking for that old family-friendly, next to a adults-only, Generations and El Dorado Royale. Foodies will love the resort. It definitely has an authentic Mexican vibe to it. The staff there is amazing. I will say this, and I've done videos with the wedding manager corporately for that, which is Valeria Martinez, it is the best wedding planning team of any of the resorts down in the Cancun Riviera Maya area. So Generations is in a family-friendly resort, all oceanfront rooms, and then you have El Dorado, which is the adults only. And the adults staying at both sides can use either, you have 14, 15 restaurants, amazing wedding locations, ballrooms, and it has some great wedding perks. A couple other resorts that I really like. Again, if you're looking for family-friendly, I would say Dreams Playa Mujeres sits right next to Secrets Playa Mujeres, which is adults only. You can have rooms on both sides, and guests can share as long as they're adults. Again, beyond memorable wedding package, which will help save you considerable money, and they do an amazing job for large groups. I would say one other resort, family-friendly, which again has an adults-only side, is the Hard Rock in Riviera Maya. About 1,100 rooms, a larger resort, has great wedding locations, has fun for everybody, water parks, skate parks for kids. So again, these are some of my favorite and best locations to host large destination weddings at, large being 50 rooms or more, 100 adults or more. And there's many other resorts. Talk with me, talk with your travel professional, but don't just pick a large resort to host a large destination wedding, because in some cases, some of the larger resorts, 2,000 room, 1,500 room resorts, and this is really important, I call them a sea of mediocrity. That in terms of these large resorts, sometimes the service is not great for your guests, the food is okay, they're buffet oriented, the wedding teams are wedding factories versus wedding customizers. So I think that's what's important to me, is making sure that you get the wedding you want for your destination wedding, whether you're small or large. And so these are some of the best resorts for large weddings in Mexico. And this is Jack with Vacationese.